Christmas Kevin and Deb here, just talking about Christmas a little bit. When do you start Christmasing?
Well, usually around Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving? What happens?
Are you talking about decorating or shopping?
Both.
Okay, well, shopping, I started shopping. And decorating, we get the decorations out and we start putting the house together.
Does it all just kind of come together magically?
No, we usually have a theme, and we've probably thought about that theme the year before, so that we can cash in on the after Christmas sales.
Well, how many themes can you name?
I don't know. How many years have we been married? 40?
42.
We probably have had a different theme for 30 of them. I remember the Western theme. We had a rope that went around the tree and a cowboy hat on top.
There was Glitzy Christmas.
1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, that's right.
I remember Santa ski slope Christmas. We had that Santa ski slope that went around the Christmas tree. That was fun.
I remember the Orb Christmas.
Yeah. And we can't forget the Whimsical Christmas.
Whimsical Christmas. The Elf Christmas.
That was the Whimsical Christmas.
Okay.
Sometimes it's White Christmas or Blue Christmas.
Yeah, we had a Blue Christmas.
We had a Frozen Christmas, which is very similar to the Blue Christmas, Toyland.
Snowflake. We had a Snowflake Christmas and a Toyland Christmas.
And as you can see, we've done the Snowflake Christmas again. But I can remember always going to my grandmother's farm and having Christmas on Christmas Eve there, and always getting a pair of knee socks. And it would be all the cousins. My mother had 6, there were 6 of them, so lots of cousins, and we all ran around that farmhouse. So I remember that. And I kind of remember the year I received a cradle that was an actual baby cradle. But I'm not sure if that's just a picture. I have a picture of it, so I'm not sure if I'm remembering it from the picture or it's an actual memory. But that was pretty special, and that cradle has been used by babies, all my cousins, and even our grandchildren. So that cradle is pretty special to me.
I remember a special Christmas that my dad built a train table down in the basement. I was not allowed to go down into the basement for about a month or two while he created this thing. I didn't know, I had a suspicion what it might be, but didn't know the scope of it. And Christmas morning I got to go down, the train was running and it was operating, and it was going over bridges, and there was 2 levels to it plus the bridge level. It was pretty exciting, and I still have that train, and I still put it underneath the tree from time to time.
Well, for me, going out and buying gifts for people I love is a way for me to just think about that person and try to think of things that they've worn, things that they enjoy. It's not so much a transactional thing, it's more of a, I want that person to know that I know them and that I love them. So that's what brings me joy, and I love gift giving. And for those few moments or those few months, weeks while you're out, you're thinking about the people you love, and you're trying to find things that you think they would love. I for sure don't always get it right, but I certainly try. Well, my favorite tradition was always Christmas Eve, and we don't do that anymore because the kids are grown and have their own things and their own other families that they do things with. But I used to love on Christmas Eve when we'd all go to church and sit together, and then we'd go look at the Christmas lights and drive around town, and we'd come back home, and we would just have a spread of, shrimp cocktail and cookies and appetizers, and it was just for us. There was an extended family, and that was always just a really special time.
Well, I am maybe the king of traditions when it comes to Christmas, and a lot of those I've had to learn to stretch and grow and give up some of those, but I used to love the tradition of traditions. And my favorite tradition, which still holds up today, is just going to Christmas Eve service. There's something special about that Christmas Eve service, usually a candlelight service, and it's a message of hope that gets delivered that day. And the music, when we're all singing those familiar carols, and glory to the Lord in the highest, that's just, it always kind of brings a tear to my eye, and that's just a special time. I also love looking at the lights downtown. In fact, we start I start my Christmasing on the night before Thanksgiving, when we go downtown and we watch the giant electric Santa Claus get lit up on the side of the building.
2, 1, light 'em up!
That's a thing that I enjoyed as a boy, and I still just love it to this day. More recently, since the kids were little, I started the tradition of getting up early, and when it was time to open up presents, I would go out into the living room and I would catch Santa Claus in the house, and I would ask him to leave. And it would usually involve slamming the door behind him when he left, and that was the signal. That would wake the boys up, and that was their signal to come out and look at the presents. That was
I
fun.
think we had some special songs or tapes that we put on.
Special music on the
Special
stereo.
music of Come On Ring Those Bells with Evie,
Mhm.
I can't think of her last name, and Emmanuel by Amy Grant. And John used to just love that song and just do somersaults all through the house as it played. And Harry Connick Jr.
That's right. Yeah, I remember John bouncing and rolling around the house when that song would come on. Good stuff. Let's talk a little bit about the meaning of Christmas.
Okay. Well, I think that kind of ties in with the gift giving and the fact that God sent His Son to us as a gift to mankind to save us from our sins. And I believe that gift was of such a high magnitude that it implores us to give to others.
That's right. I would totally agree. In fact, there's so many things, so many symbols out there that are just part of the Christmas holiday and the season that just point to Christ, from the gift giving, as Deb pointed out, to the stripes on the candy canes, just to the traditional colors of Christmas, the red and the green. It'd be an interesting Google look up just to discover some of those. But it's all around us during the season, and it just cannot be ignored. Any fun Christmas memories that you can come up with?
Well, I have a couple. First of all, in my childhood, I had fond memories of, on Christmas Eve, it was always our school program at church. And then when we got home, all the Christmas presents were under the tree. That's when we did our Christmas. And then a more recent memory of when our boys were older in college before they met their wives. One year, John was in some financial straits, and his brothers and Kevin and I got together and thought, you know, he really needs a car. So we all got together and pitched in whatever money we could, and we ended up buying John a car. And the most special part of that was on Christmas Eve then, the car was sitting over in our neighbor's driveway, and it was freezing cold, and John hadn't arrived yet, but Nathan and Justin and Kevin and I got in that car, and we just prayed over that car, and we prayed over John, and it was just a very special, special gift that, you know, I'll just never forget. The sacrifices that went into it, and the joy that John received as he received that gift as well.
And the joy that we had in giving it to him.
Oh yeah, it was really special.
A special gift that I remember is one year. Earlier in that year, our house had been broken into and my wedding ring had been stolen. It seems to me that I had taken it off my finger because for some reason the ring had shrunk and didn't fit me very well anymore, so I had just put it in a drawer. And lo and behold, we got broken into and that ring was stolen. Well, that Christmas, Deb replaced that ring, which I wear now, and it was just a special time for me. And anyway, yeah, go on.
He's getting sappy. Well, I just love how our family's grown. And all the grandchildren, and how much fun that's made Christmas every year. But our daughter-in-laws, and it's just given us more people to love, and God has certainly blessed us with beautiful wives for our sons and beautiful grandchildren. And it is such a joy and a pleasure to be able to give and to be able to love each and every one of them.
From our house to yours, Merry Christmas to you.